Good morning. Welcome to Grand Thumb Farms. I'm on Maizy Lou Farms doing the Zero to Hero challenge. When I left yesterday, we were getting the hay picked up off the field where we're going to put the sheep pen over there next to the house. We got 9 bales, which should be plenty of hay to get through certainly this next couple of seasons. Afterwards, I did a couple of contracts. I believe it was 2 cultivating contracts. One on the field just the other side of this one here, and one over there on the field next to the road. They were simple enough. And then I decided to try a root crop contract. And it took me down a rabbit hole. I worked way into the night. It was rainy and dark, and I was trying to do it differently from the time I did my other root crop contract earlier. I wanted to do the carting off the field. I had an AI worker that was he was harvesting the crop. It was parsnips. He was harvesting. I had another a guy on auto drive taking it from the field to the canning factory, and between the leasing of the auger wagon, the paying the guy to harvest the field, and seems like there was one other cost. I don't know. It was about a 10-acre field, and I broke even after several hours of work. So I haven't given up on the method, but however, doing one small field and not owning the equipment, and there's a few variables in there that I need to work out before I become a root crop king. But today, I also early this morning, I took down our first tree, and I would show it. I'll show you me taking down the first tree. But however, there was some technical difficulties, so we'll just I'll show you. I'm gonna try to cut down one of these trees. I don't know if I can pull it or not. I'm going to try to winch it over to the sawmill. That's a big old tree too. My goodness. And I don't want to cut it and have it go down the hill. Let's give this a shot. So I got the tree cut down and delimbed. Now I need to make it a little bit smaller so I can drag it. I guess I could have come closer. Okay. about the sheeps. I want to get the sheep pen in and get our wool production underway. So field is mowed, and find the sheep pen we wanted. I've kind of gone back and forth. I would like to keep it to about about that. Let's get off of cows. Sheeps. Okay. The ones that we have to use are, it's got to be one of these, the bigger animal barn. So there's the one that's just the field, and then the small, which is the building, and it'll hold 1,000 sheep, the 2,000 sheep, and then also 2,000 sheep. Oh, it's 260 sheep, and then 2,000 sheep. I really want to do this one, but for the sheep, I don't think I'm going to do it. I may, and it's not because I'm, it's because the sheep need to have wool processing, and I don't know. I'm not ready to do this one. Although it would be the easiest way to go. I'm going to go ahead and do the 1,000. That way I can also sell off extra sheep that are over 500. So we'll get income from the sheep meat plus the wool. And I think we'll be okay with the, like I said, with those 9 bales. We'll have plenty of food to get through the winter, and then I have all the grass in between all the fields on this in this area, and so we'll have plenty of food for them. Trying to get it lined up with the house. Okay, looks like, and I've kind of sussed out how this is going to go. I'm not gonna do this whole area over here. I think I'm gonna cut it short, just past this tree and come down towards the house, and then back around, and it should give me about 500 or 1,050 sheep or something like that. To the left, looking at it, to the left is where the wool is going to spawn, and you drop them off on the right. Drop the food on that concrete part. So, and I want this barn to forward. I don't want it to stick way out. Anyway, I think I'm going to put it right over here-ish. Yeah. I'm thinking of putting a little barn to hold the wool in case if I sell the wool directly, I want to keep it in dry storage until it's sold. But I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, or at least the fabric and make, I don't know if there even is a fabric on this app, but anyway, right about there. Do I want to customize the fence? Yes, I do. Thank you. I think I want snapping on, and I don't want it right up against this road. I wish it was easier to tell when it was 90 degrees, but around there, I guess, is 90 degrees. This is the one that I want to, I don't want to get too close to here because this land goes down. So I'm going to get it kind of close to the tree, but not right up against the tree. Right in here-ish. Drop it kind of straight. I lost my line. And I just cut the tree in half. Come on. I really get frustrated with it, all this wiggling around. Yeah, I need to go a little bit further out. Up there. Not far enough. Fence is getting all crooked. Isn't there there's a way to delete last segment? H. A little bit further. Try that. And it's not going to matter because once it's down, you're not going to really. Out there. Not too close to the house. About even with the tree. We're going to get fancy and cut over here and finish it and meadow. Yes. This is where if I hate it, I can change it right away without costing any money. It's not perfect, but you know what? Nobody is. All right, let's see how many sheeps we can get. 1,044. I was close. I've only done it a couple of times. I did have an idea. So this is where the buy point is. You feed them here. It's automatic watering. And the wool will spawn over here. Now, the cost to get the sheep delivered, I was looking. And for the adults, it's $50 delivery fee. The 3-month-olds, it's $37, and the babies is $30. So it's $117 for 3. Okay, let me math for just a second. I'm trying to determine if it's cheaper to lease or have delivered. Lease a trailer or have it delivered. Hang on just a second. Okay, I think I have it figured out. So it would be about $1,500 for the delivery fees, I'm guessing, and to lease an animal transport. This lease is for $1,200. So for basically $200, I'm getting them delivered. I think I'm going to get them delivered because it would basically, we would basically be saving a couple $100. So for sheep, at the quantity we're buying, it's cheaper to have them delivered, or it's kind of a wash to have them delivered. So we're going to do that. And I think I'm going to get, I haven't thought about it. I think I'm going to get, that was based off getting 13 of each age. And I think that's what I'm going to start off doing. I'm going to get 13 of the 8-month-old, 13 of the 3-month-olds, and 13 of the babies. And there they are. And I don't think they have food. It looks like there's food, but it says 0 meadow grass. Where's that menu? It's been a while since I've done animals. Yep, they have no meadow grass. They're not happy. They can't reproduce. We better get them some grass. And that pen holds like 500,000 liters of food, so there's no way I can fill it. And there's no, yeah, there's no reason to completely fill it right now. There's no big hurry. Jumped in my vehicle and every time I jump in, it says, please start the engine first. I haven't done anything. And I don't know if that's a map specific thing or it's something that I've placed some mods and all of a sudden, I think you should be able to sit in your tractor without a warning. So I don't know if that's some mods that I've placed that I've done something. I don't know. So I'm going to go grab some grass. But I don't want to put that right in front of. Ugh. I don't need to be way out here either because I forget that it's not going to be too loud for you. It's just loud for me when I'm close. I believe that's the way it works. I hope that's the way it works. Drop that off. I get nervous putting the bale spikes with the camera on. After that incident from a couple of episodes ago. Oh, I purchased that little bell spike there. I'll go ahead and use it. Kind of show you what it works. I know when I pick up hay on our place, we have something like this. But I still have the mower. I don't know if I guess we got that in August, so we're still good. I am going to mow that field today. Oh, nope, not there. That's where you drop it. Trigger's over here. Nope, trigger's over here. Maybe I have to open the trigger. Hello? Found it. At this corner, okay. Let's get 3 bales of hay. There we go. Should be straightforward enough. Oh, I also, if you see on the ground, there's a bunch of little grass textures. I kind of was sketching out maybe how I wanted to lay out the grass field. Once I, oops, trying to make this easier. There we go. Anyway, so I laid out kind of how I wanted the grass field to look. And I'll pull back in just a minute, but you can see it comes up this way, goes over there. So all this asphalt that we're on right now would be grass in the future. That lowered. Stick those, raise it up. Now we're carrying 3. Works out pretty good. Okay, sheepies, here you go. All for you. Should disappear. Oops. Oh. Yep, there it goes. These are the two bales. So besides feeding our, whoa. All right, besides feeding the sheep, got them fed. They should be set. $19,700, 39 animals. My intention is, well, we've got to get up to 500. So my intention is to next month, these will all be a month older, and we'll add 13. I don't remember why I picked it, the number 13. I think that number was, I don't know. I think it was supposed to be 19 of each. Stand by. Let me see if I can figure out. It was based on the animal transport capacity, because once I start selling them off, this holds 38. So 19 is half of 38. 13 has nothing to do with 38. So it's supposed to be 19. I think. I don't know. Let's tell you what. Let's buy 6 more of each. I don't know if that'll help me or not. Now because we're now it would have been much cheaper to release a transport. Okay. I don't know if that makes a difference or not. Anyway, the bottom line is my intention is for every month to buy an additional 19 of each until I get to I don't know, I don't have enough money one month or whatever, and I'll stop, and then I'll let them reproduce on their own after that. But the feed starts getting low, and I'm behind and can't find the hay or whatever. But I'm not in a super big hurry. I know that once I get a certain amount of animals, the wool management's going to get unruly, and I don't want that to happen. So the next thing to do, I guess I want to get this. Yeah, I want to get this hay cut, or this grass cut and turned and raked and picked up so I can cut this new field. So that'll be the next thing on the list. Please start your engine. I promise I don't have any idea what that's all about. Okay, let's get this all hooked up. As I hook up, I need to get into a different position. Hang on a second. It's amazing to me how fast time flies when recording. If I would have if I would have taken a guess on how long I've been running, I would have said, oh, 5-10 minutes. 25 minutes later. Crazy. All right, let's get this started. And I'm just going to mow the top stuff here. Get in a little closer here. And so the grass field is going to go basically along this edge. And I don't know if I don't think I'll put a fence in here. I may line it with trees. I don't know. Kind of spruce it up a little bit. Of course, if I buy that field down there, I might be able to make a neat little driveway that comes off that field into our field. And I'm not super picky about how much grass I'm getting off of this cutting, because this grass is not going to be nearly as good as my grass. I got that special grass. This is just plain old coastal stuff. I'm gonna get some type of hybrid. I don't know that much about grass. I just didn't know that there's different types of grass. So let me finish this up, and then we'll turn it and go from there. Oh, can't fold it. Forget about that. This doesn't like to be folded. Stick it over here. Oh, there's that wagon that I leased. Auger wagon? I guess it's still called an auger wagon if it's for the root crops. Chaser bin. We'll call it a chaser bin. Chaser bin. I like that. Okay. Let's drop this off and get the tedder. We'll knock that out. A nice, be sunshiny this afternoon, so we'll say we can do it all in a day. Fresh cut grass. It's been super dry, although it did rain all night. Boy, did it rain. That was, I tell you, that's tough when you're having to concentrate. I mean, really. But it wasn't as passive as doing a lot of field work, but kind of having to concentrate on following that that harvester last night. Because if you know, when you're picking up parsnips, if you whoops, nope, not fold it. Come on, turn it on. Back it up. You can see it on constant. It's hard for me to concentrate on anything. Anyway, while concentrating on staying right next to that harvester with that chaser bin in the dark, that's one thing. But then you add, of course, I could have shut the sound off, but you add the pounding rain on the cabin of the tractor, and it was just a kind of a gnaw the whole time I was doing it. I laugh like I'm, such a terrible plight that I had, but it did add to the difficulty concentrating, or the stress is not a very good word, but the, you know, it all stacks up. So when you're done, it's like, whoa, whew, I finished it, man. But you know, it was kind of fun. It's one of those things where you get an idea in your head, but you want to try something out, and it kind of works. That, like I said, there's some tweaks I think I can do to it. I think it can be done without using auto drive, and I'd like to try that out. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen on this map, just because of the, well, I'm not going to complain about this map, but I need to find another map to try it on, having something to do with the ability to drive, the drive splines, I think is what they're called. But you, like for instance, if you tell this driver to drive to the field on the other side of this field in front of us, it's not going to find his way. It'll drive off the mountain, and it's not going to head to the road or anything like that. So anyway, I'm gonna become the root crop king, or at least I'm gonna be able to harvest root crops and not hate it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. What I am going to do right now is finish turning this grass. Let's do that. It's all turned over. And all that's left is the raking it, rowing it, whatever you want to call it. Kind of drop this down in the middle. Not too close. Fair enough. When I back up to equipment, or when I back in equipment to sheds, I like to go to the in-cab view, and I've kind of I've been trying to avoid that, because I think changing camera views can be kind of daunting if you don't expect it and if you're just watching. So I don't know if it is actually daunting. I haven't done a poll, but I find it's much easier to back up implements if you can see over them from the in-cab view. All right, let's get this raked up. Now I'm starting to look forward to cutting the field, now that every time I turned around the other way going towards the parking lot behind us, I kind of think, I'm imagining what it's going to look like once the field's actually cut in. I think my idea of the 3 farms, I haven't looked at all 3 of them very closely. I didn't even look at this one much before we really came over here. But I'm going to decide on one to live in, so to speak, and then the other ones will be, I guess, for farm hands or something like that. I'll put it in my head. This one's haunted, so I don't think it'll be this one, and I'm just not sure about this one, because I certainly don't want to live in some place that's haunted. That wouldn't be fun. But anyway, so the ones that will have the farm hands will be kind of minimalistic, and the other one will be the fancy one. It's kind of how I'm thinking it's going to be done. But so I'll tear most of the stuff. I'll just have here what's needed here, which is obviously a place for hay bales and some storage of grass equipment. Just the minimal things, and I'll do that to the second farm, and the last farm will be kind of where I set up shop. As far as what other animals I'm gonna do, I had just started thinking about it, but I'm not sure yet, and I will let you know when I know something, or we'll talk about it anyway at another time. Let me get this raking done, and because I want to cut this field, or get it started anyway. Kind of messed up in the end there. I was trying to grab two, and so I ended up grabbing almost two and making a mess of it. But however, it'll be fine. See, I'm gonna jump here in here, and if you go slow, it just seems like there's much more control when you're in cab. Or it's not as easy to oversteer. I find if I'm outside the cab, I tend to oversteer. I'm looking for that button. I'm gonna grab this baler. See if I can grab without popping any tires on those forks. Come on. I didn't even get close. All right. There's a little bit of hay in there, and let me look to see. The bale counter is still at 9, so that's for these fields, and start it up and drop the. Starting out great. Okay. Get this baled up. See how much I miss. I don't think I can get 13% with what's left on the ground. I'm going to grab a little more bits and see if it's even close. I'm really not that concerned with it, he says as he drives all around the field. Yeah, we're not going to get it. So there's a way to unload this somehow. Not like that. That button. That's the one. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. So 7 bales. I can count. There's 2, 4, 6. There's 8 bales on the ground. One of them's not full, and one of them was from half of it. At least half of it was from the other field. So the baling's all done. Now you can see kind of this angle. I'm going to bring the grass field up along where these 3 trees are. I'm going to try to leave that little structure. I say structure, but that little kind of tree island is a feature. And I'm going to go, let me throw this over here just a second. So it'll come up to here, and then the road coming from down there will go through behind that existing shed. And while I was bailing, I had some more thoughts about this house and this property and animals and all that. But anyway, so also the road, I think, is going to come down here and around here to get to the hay barn. And then the grass will be there also. That's my idea. Let me pick these hay bales up, and then we'll start cutting the field in. Besides picking up hay bales, very often when I do my pallet moving, I go in cab, but I know for video's sake, it may not be as good to watch, but that's just the way I do it. Now for the creative part. I hope this field works out like it is in my head. I think it'll be fine. It's just a grass field, and I overthink everything. So, and as far as that area in front of us there, I just had another idea for that, and I guess I'm kind of trying to avoid knocking those 2 trees down, and for a grass field, it should be easy enough to go around them. But that hill, I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out. That might be where we store our. We might put a shed over there and then move this shed and have all grass out here. I don't know. But then the silos will be kind of stuck. I don't know. We'll see. And I don't know what this silo is going to be for anyway. In fact, there's a really good chance that all this might get redesigned, because I'm having more ideas. which happens every once in a while. Okay, let's get this plow. I'm gonna have to move that tedder, I think, too. And I don't think I'll need to wait for this plow, but on this tractor, but we'll see. I certainly hope not. We've done good. Oh, no. Ouch. Well, that'll take some fixing. I had kind of a strange thing happen. When I was leaving the shop with this plow, I went to go to get the plow repaired and the tractor repaired, and as I was driving into the trigger for the maintenance, it was like there was an invisible wall, and I tried it from different angles, and then I was able to drive just the tractor, but something, I don't know if it had something to do with the plow or the time of day. I don't know what it was, but it was kind of a strange phenomenon. So this shouldn't plow right now. Oh, need to turn create fields on. And I always get nervous when I go to create fields. Allow create fields is why. It wants to know why. Did I push Y? There we go. I don't know if a trilled is better or not, but just, this is us, so they say. I'm gonna try to make this pretty. And I think that if I go right up to it, there's going to be a section that's, I guess, I'm just mumbling. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm doing. That straw texture, I guess, could come further out. Yeah, because this will be the field, and I'll paint in the grass on that side there. Because I have to think of field versus kind of the grassy edge. So I probably should have painted it in more clearly. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I guess I can add to it or take away as I go. I know that I kind of want to have a little working area here. And I don't understand that this, if it kind of a eyeglass or a, what's that, time glass? What's that thing called that you turn upside down with the sand in it? Hourglass. Have an hourglass or figure 8 shape. May not make a whole lot of sense, but I like the look of the planted grass. Even if I don't know what I'm saying. I say that, but I can add flowers to the meadow grass. I don't know. Let's get around the circle, and then I think we're gonna call it. So we got our sheep. That's a good thing. I'm not expecting a whole lot of wool anytime soon. I'm sure it'll be months and months before we have regular wool output. We still have $114,000. I intend to do some contracts. I may work on my root crop skills. I still have that chaser bin, and I've got another day of August left. So, and that'll be just bringing more money into the fold. Is our obviously we've got this farm purchased, and we're on our way to getting the requisite 500 sheep. So we need the second farm, and that's, let me look real quick. I think that's close to $1 million. We're here 38. Yeah, it's over $900,000. So we got lots more work to go to get that going. I can get, what I was thinking is leasing the sawmill and upping our tree gain, because that's just, I mean, that's big money. Either leasing the sawmill, I guess, or setting an additional, yeah, I think probably setting an additional sawmill down. I saw farmer Mike, he brought at the end of this road, I just pointed, y'all see where I'm pointing? You go down this road to the end, there's a bunch of trees, and I can get in there, put a little sawmill down for $10,000, and then got a bunch of trees and get the output for those, and that'll bring in a bunch of money. I don't want to go, although it would be very easy to go over there and get, buy some property over there and do some logging over there. I think I'm going to just kind of go with what we got and see how we can progress that way. And I don't mind doing contracts, and I still want to beautify up this place a little bit. I say beautify, make it look nice, and have a good place for the workers to stay. They can stay in the haunted house, I guess. Yeah, I don't want to stay in the haunted house. But rethinking those silos, I don't think they're going to stick around, or the lime. I don't think I'm going to have any arable crops over here. I don't know. Arable crops. I've never heard that until I started playing this game. But, of course, there's a lot of stuff I hadn't heard of before I started playing this game. But anyway, I want to get this place set up. I think I do want to lose that shed there and move it down to where the greenhouses used to be. So I've got lots of thoughts of how this is going to go. And we'll figure it out. But I will say, I do appreciate y'all coming, spending some time here today. I know you could be a lot of places, but you decided to spend a little time here with me, and I appreciate you. And that being said, I hope you see me in the next one. Have a good day.